This conference will now be recorded.
Excellent. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ranger Anna, and I would like to formally welcome you to our virtual Student Poetry Awards for the Longfellow House, Washington's headquarters National Historic Site. This is a historic first for us. We have never done this virtually. It's going to be a great experience. We're thrilled you could join us in this celebration of the poetry from our youthful contestants here. And that you can do it safely from the comfort of your own home. Before we dive into the event, I do want to do some housekeeping. So in case you are brand new to GoToMeeting, it's pretty user-friendly. If you are not a presenting poet today, please keep your video camera off. That will allow the presenting poets to be able to take the screen, just like they're taking center stage. Please remember to mute yourself. You do that by pressing the microphone button that's down at the bottom. We also recommend the View Who's Talking mode. You can find that at the top of your screen. There is a ribbon there with a bunch of different options. There is a drop-down menu, little arrows where you can click View Who's Talking. And that way the person who is presenting, you'll see right in front of you the entire time. There are also live captions for this event. You can find the link to that in the chat. If you have any questions or technical difficulties throughout the event, you can go to that chat, which is the tiny little speech bubble that's on your the top of your screen. And you can also select to send a message just to the organizers. That will send a message to us and we'll be able to help you out. We do recommend that you use the chat to send words of encouragement, virtual applause, and any messages you have directly to the poets. You will be on mute most of the time, so we won't have your applause, but we'll make space for that at the very end of the event where you can all get off of mute and we can celebrate them. You can also view the playbill for this event and follow along with the presentation by clicking the Google Docs link that is also provided in the chat. All right, that is it for housekeeping. Let's start celebrating. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, who is our main guy, did not take the talent and the curiosity of young people for granted. In fact, it was something that he was continually inspired by. With their voices when they decide to share that creativity. You can hear this in one of his poems called Possibilities. It is on the playbill if you want to take a look at it. In this poem, he asks where the passionate poets are on their Olympian heights, and he compared the process of writing to a ship's voyage. And of course, the captain is the poet. So I'll share part of that with you. Where are the stately argosies of song, whose rushing keels made music as they went, sailing in search of some new continent, with all sail set and steady winds and strong? Perhaps there lives some dreamy boy, untaught in schools, some graduate of the field or street, who shall become a master of the art, an admiral, sailing the high seas of thought, fearless and first, and steering with his fleet for lands not yet laid down in any chart. I feel like you can also almost hear old man Longfellow thinking about himself 70 years before and what possibilities there were for him as a poet in the future. This bravery in exploring uncharted seas is part of being an artist. All of your winning poems were chosen because they sparked a light in your readers. They laid bare a path for a brighter future, or they illuminated a common human emotion that reminds us that we're all in this together, a message that we definitely need right now. Even after Longfellow died, those people who maintained his legacy never forgot the importance of our youth. One of those people was Frank Buda, and I know we have some of his relatives in the audience today. He worked for the Longfellow family starting in the 1930s. And when the house was transferred to the National Park Service, he served as the manager until 1985. Today, in his honor, his family makes this contest possible, along with the help from the New England Poetry Club, an organization that keeps poetry alive in our community. And as always, we have our friends of the Longfellow House, Washington's headquarters National Historic Site. to thank for their dedication, their undying dedication to the park. All of you are here today, all of our winners are here today because you represent the future of poetry and the art of spoken word. You have all impressed us with your insight and your delightful turn of phrase. And we are honored that the site can continue to be a place where creativity like yours blossoms and where new art is shared. So without further ado, I am going to yield the stage to our poets. We'll start with the youngest, representing grades 3 through 5, winning honorable mention. Can I please have Stephen Comey present?
Hi. My poem's called My Favorite Food, and yeah. One day my teacher, Mrs. Beecher, asked me a question. What is your favorite food, my student, little sweet Benjamin? I thought and thought, but just couldn't think of one. So I started listing foods in my head, but my head just spun and spun. Pie is good. Pizza is great. I also love my old grandma's cake. Chocolate I love. Pancakes with butter. All I could do was just sputter and sputter. Broccoli no. Mayo no way. But some rice could make my day. I love burgers. So do my friends. On my list there were no ends. So I decided my teacher had won. And I said, I don't have one.
What a way to kick us off. Thank you, Stephen. Also winning honorable mention, can I have Andrew Petrilla present your poem?
My poem is called The Seasons. Winter. Snowflakes tumbling, dancing, gliding down, resting on the frigid ground. A cardinal, burst of red, flies. Spring. Brave crocuses are the first to rise, to meet the melting snow. Pink flowers explode on the trees. Summer. Hot sun beating down on sandy beaches, cool blue waves that roll and roar. Above, a gull will soar. Fall. The green trees burst into flame, crunching and crackling. Wild geese fly like arrows away from the creeping frost.
That is a beautiful image you painted. Thank you, Andrew. Winning third place for this category, can I have Devin Swanee?
Okay, so my poem is called The Cactus, and it stands in the sandy, scorching desert with its prickly army of thorns scattered across the beige-yellow land, standing alert and motionless as if waiting for something to approach. It doesn't move a spiky muscle, even as the whistling wind crashes against its splintered green skin. It mounts in the greeny ground silently as birds perch on it with their sharp talons, and centipedes skitter on it with their tickling legs, and toxic scorpions scrape it with their deadly claws and stinger. Arms frozen in place like a figure in a coat of ferocious thorns. As the long day ends, the cactus and its astonishing army will wait and watch for a battle that will never arrive.
Thank you, Devin. Those were some powerful adjectives. All right, for second place, our winner wasn't actually able to make it today, but I want to take a moment to recognize Camille Brenner for winning second place for this category. So awesome job, Camille. And next up, for first place for this age group, can I have Kate Putnam?
Hi, my name is Kate Putnam, and I'll be reading my poem, The Radiant Companion. Sitting on the rugged, pockmarked sand, I know that I am alone. I know the sun is setting, going out like the sleek, mindless tide that erases any remains of the adventurous people that walked this beach, like the tide that must always go back to its true realm, the horizon. A sudden frigidness overwhelms me. A friend is leaving, only to return tomorrow. The absence of a true, adoring guardian angel, that even if you can't grasp, it is always there when there is light. Yet the horizon lies, coaxing us all, and not even the sun can resist it.
Thank you. You make me very curious about that space where the sky and the ocean meet. Thank you, Kate. All right, we are moving on to grades 6 through 8. For the honorable mention category, can I have Eleanor Bogosian please present?
Hi, I'm going to be reading my poem, Adolescence. Adolescence, noun, the period of life between childhood and adulthood, youth. As in, the life of an adolescent is a complex mess filled with even more complex emotions. As in, adolescence marks the beginning of an independence that still has its restrictions. As in, an island in between the comfort of childhood and the responsibility of adulthood with only half of the trust. As in, some things change while some things stay the same, as in teenage years are not something you can tame. As in, adolescence is many things, a mess, a milestone, a mark of maturity, but it most importantly is a part of life, as in a part of your life, as in a part of all of our lives.
Eleanor, I envy the insight you have in your adolescence. I think you're going to go places. All right, for honorable mention for this age group, can I have Julia Dunn Rappaport?
Hi, my poem is called Writer's Block. The clock sits with a ticking jeer, and I wonder how long I've been sitting here. Maybe a minute or maybe a year. The delete button has become my friend, and I cannot think or comprehend why ever I can't get to the end. My eyes squeeze shut, my head on the table. How can I write a short story if I'm not even able to finish one phrase, hardly translatable? Ideas in my head I quickly dismiss. Something in my mind is awry or amiss. To a single good word, goodbye, I can kiss.
I think we've all been there before with writer's block. There's a beautiful description of it. Thank you. All right, for third place for grades 6 through 8, we wanted to give the award to Ethan Barros. He was not able to attend today, but I want to send out into the universe, congratulations, Ethan. And you'll be getting your award in the mail, so don't worry. We'll move on next to Elise Haichong for second place.
I'm reading my poem, Mist. Mist lays her hand on tall rocky ranges, while drops of sparkling mountain dew fall softly on small flowers who have just started to show their purple radiance. Crystallized water, delicate flakes of ice, drift slowly down before setting intricate edges on once bare crevices. Animals come to see the phenomenon as the flakes touch furry faces and tails, for they know that this early snow will be gone until the mist returns.
You captured a beautiful moment of snow. That's very nice, thank you. All right, and for first place for grades 6 through 8, can I have Gianni Prevalon please present?
I want a house. 10 years, a long time coming. I want my house to be full of windows that blocks the world out but let me see the beauty along with its pain. I want the windows to let the sunlight rain on me, but I don't want to feel it, because along with the beauty comes the pain. I don't want to get burned by the sun whilst I'm merely in awe trying to show my love for its light. I have 2 windows, and those windows, well, I call them my eyes. At the moment, I don't really get to decide. I don't want the house to be open and airy, but closed out. Closed out so I do not have to feel the depths of my aloneness, but enough room so that I could spread my wings in 10 years' time.
Thank you for sharing that brave poem, Gianni. I love how you compared your eyes to windows. All right, we're moving on to grades 9 through 12. First up for honorable mention, Julia Smith.
Hi, I'm going to be reading my poem, Evening Walk. Dusk was slowly nudging the sun out of the sky. Navy blue darkness hushes the planet to silence. The moon climbs to its peaceful perch, a shining glow coating over the meadow. My shoes skate across the wet grass, and the scent of pine trees fill the open air. Lanterns of stars float above me, sprinkling light towards the woods. The world pauses for a moment, and I feel content alone with the sky and the moon. The only sound comes from the trees swaying, dancing to the music of the wind.
Julia, I felt like I was in the woods with you just now. Could definitely smell those pine trees too. Thank you. All right, for honorable mention, can we also have Emily Boyce present?
Hi, this is my poem, Sacraments. In the hall with the wallpaper that looks like a jungle and the grand window facing the street, outside the studio, you're sitting next to me, just far enough that I have to reach. You're tinted green, or maybe it's me. I offer you a bite, and there's something we don't say, but maybe it's me. Standing off to the side of the dusty courtyard, a cobblestone temple, you're wearing the coat that makes you look big, and you pull out your cigs. A smoky halo rests in your hair. I reach out, hoping you'll give me some alms. After dark, after the war, in the city for intellectuals, where not a single man is free of sin, you want to go out to the cabaret. I say yes on a matter of principle. It smells like roses and alcohol and mold in a far too small theater, and you're watching the girls and I'm watching you. White and red feathers, the choir's singing down to you from up on high. I slither away down dark halls to the back room, where Venetian faces peer down, devils sneering at my foolishness. In the streets, you want me to sing for you, and I do, I do. Here in the chair, under the stair, love is waiting, waiting for you. Here in my lair, ever so rare, waiting for you, you. I howl like a dog, for you. We're staring at the firmament of our apartment, cracks and water stains like stars, seen through and beyond. Our Tower of Babel, reaching up and up and up, pylons built on creaking floors. I'll soon be struck down. You taste like rum.
Emily, thank you. I was like on the edge of my seat with your telling. That was very suspenseful. All right, for third place, can we have Caleb Kerr?
Hi everyone, I'll be reading my poem called In the Orchard. Within the rustling tribe of cherry trees, a jay attempts escape and flaps its wings, its feathers tangled in a mass of things. The buds it cannot reach but always sees, its underbelly scarred by herds of bees. Its sloping beak so ever softly sings, its neck is wrapped in oily plastic rings, detritus drifting through the orchard breeze. A piercing pruner blossoms through the pink and tries to snip the shackles from the jay. A farmer's figure rises from below, his holy hands forbidden from the drink. They came to free the feathers from their fray, but found they'd snipped the bird and not its foe.
Thank you for that. You had some beautiful alliteration in there. I really enjoyed it. All right, for second place for grades 9 through 12, Willa Frank, can you share your poem?
Hello, I'll be reading my poem, which is untitled. You are still here, yet as you watch over me in my mind's eye, I know your presence there signifies your absence in some dimension. But you are here, there, in my head, in my curls, in my eyes as they pass over book spines. Did you tell me that title once? Were you cooking and I asked you what you were reading? Would you like this recipe? Will you tell me that story again? you, the collector of memories. I have photos of you, but not video. Your voice I play in my head, but I can't understand the words. Every time I open the door, there you are, oddly symbolic, you, on our front door, which we open and close like the boxes of memory we have. I open a box in my mind. You are wearing that tan sweater, you're smiling, you're pointing at the gesture, and you're talking, remembering something, and I'm listening, trying to preserve what you are saying. But I now reach into the corners of the memory box and I can't find the words. I close the front door and I go to school. You walk with me like you never would have in real life, but this is my real life, isn't it? And here you are, walking to school with me. Thank you.
Thanks, Willa. You're getting some snaps too. I'm really intrigued by the collector of memories idea. That was pretty cool. As a side note, if you haven't seen all of the praise that is coming to you in the chat, make sure you open that up and check it out. People are loving your poems. For first place for grades 9 through 12, can Isabel Goodrich please share your poem?
Hi, everybody. Can you all hear me? Okay, awesome. So I hope you guys are all doing well. My name is Isabel Goodrich. I'm a rising senior at Boston Latin School, and today I'm going to be performing my poem, The Copley Library, which is about, you guessed it, the Copley Library in Boston. The Copley Library. Someone once told you that libraries were full of useless things, like fiction, an impractical invention, and librarians who reminded you of someone else's mother. The building on the corner of Boylston in Dartmouth does not remind you of anything. Polished stone hallways, grains of time beaten, foot deep against unflinching structure, dust resting on bookshelves in desktop computers college kids sit behind, glaze-eyed, tapping, writhing, breathing in the archive of the city, the belly of history and architecture, a nest, like for the rats that used to scutter through your kitchen, who your mother told you were just your imagination, who your father tried to banish. Tearing damp boards from the walls with his rusty hammer, this'll fix it, his promise growls. Bent nails on the glossy floor of your kitchen is what you think of when your worn sneakers rest against the marble staircase. Dripping, iron-burned chandeliers are antlers, trophies of beasts whose bodies built this place. You can't remember the last time you saw a window. The light hurts the books your mother explained to you, clutching your clammy hand, a tether in the chilling, high-reaching halls of the library. You couldn't see the ceiling then, and you won't look now. It used to be warmer. When your mother walked you onto the subway, carried you from the entrenched organs of the underground, on days your father came home early, or near the end of the month, when laundry stacked up in piles by the door and the bills built themselves palaces on the kitchen table. Past the homeless and their cardboard signs, who, she instructs you, grip tight, never to stop, and not to look them in the eye. Today, when you climb the cement steps under the iron giants and their judging eyes, you drop $1, like Charon's fare in a Dunkin' Donuts cup. You never take the elevator. You'd miss the groove in the floor where your mother's high heel was once stuck, unmovable, unyielding, like a tumor on a spine. She'd kicked it off, leaving it behind, in addition to the gallery of modern urban art. You take your place between the shelves, somewhere between ancient fiction and political theory, between A through G. You become a Dewey Decimal, a feature that's always been here. You are one of the rats, racing across the kitchen, lit yellow with cheap bulbs, glowing like a filthy pond. The librarians have the same wrinkles as your father, creased in the forehead, stripping the wallpaper and carefully judging your book selection behind their thick and decorated glasses. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That was a powerful retelling. I love how you made the library feel like it was a character in your poem. That was awesome. For our next section, I'm going to pass it off to Mary from the New England Poetry Club.
Hello, I'm Mary Buchinger. I'm president of the New England Poetry Club, and I have the pleasure of introducing this year's winner of the Victor Howes Prize in Poetry. Victor Howes, poet, English professor, longtime member and board member of the New England Poetry Club, passed away in January 2018. He was a beloved teacher and advocate of poets and poetry. This prize, funded with a generous donation from his estate, honors and builds on his legacy. The prize is awarded to an undergraduate English major enrolled at a New England college. It is my great pleasure to introduce this year's winner of the Victor Howes Prize in Poetry, Jessica Christian. Jessica Christian is a non-traditional student who graduated this spring from Plymouth State University in New Hampshire, 9 years after she began. Jessica's work impressed the judges with its depth and complexity. In particular, her ability to explore and transform difficult life experiences. In her personal statement, Jessica discusses the importance of community in her work. And as officers on the board of one of the oldest poetry clubs in the country, we too cherish the power of poetry to connect people. Jessica asserts that, quote, poetry has the potential to change how we understand the world, and especially what we believe is possible. So please welcome Jessica Christian. Thank you.
Hi, hello, I'm Jess. Thank you to New England Poetry Club for awarding me this prize. It was quite a lot of money. I ended up donating the entirety of it during the last month because I don't know, like, why do I deserve money and not other people? So I feel good about that, and I'm grateful that I actually had money to donate for the first time in my life. So I'm gonna read some poems, and yeah. The first one is called The Aftermath. The people in my house don't touch each other. We learned that touching was some kind of crisis, the not touching, the aftermath, the shock still setting in a decade later. Though lately I want to be a hug person, and the people outside my house seem like they have so much to offer. But my father is upset I don't love him, trust him, hug him anymore. And when I refuse, he jokes my no must mean yes, and still our arms collide on two small couches. I flinch and pull away from my body, his body, all of our bodies piled one on top of the other in close contact. I must say I like it this way. I haven't talked to my father since last Christmas. Our arms don't bleed into one another on two small couches or when he picks up a new hobby, holds his hurt to the light and passes it back to me. I let my brother see me cry and even touch me last year. Now I give him a hug on his birthday and still we joke about it. This is the aftermath of touching, learning to inhabit the body again, flinch with the history and hold it anyway. I've made the last 3 years into an offering the people in my house never taught me. My limbs held out in church basements, breweries, and gay bars. The world offers us too many things, both good and bad, and this is the aftermath. We learn to touch and be touched, contact each other when in crisis. Trust me when I say this, the history of touching is a hard one, but just yesterday I reached for my sad friend's hands across the table so casually. My cold fingers pressed between her warm palms has me hoping, surely, the people I know now touch each other gently, know that contact is a kind of crisis worth its every aftermath. We know the world is both the flinching and the reaching. Cold hands, warm palm, trust me. So that is my first poem. So I never get to read this poem because it's pretty long, but I feel like today's a good day to read it because being alive is hard, and this poem reminds me that being alive is good. It's called If Crying with Gratitude is an Art, This Poem is My Resume. 1. In 5 p.m. Concord traffic when the sun hit the water past the bridge just so. And I am not an angry driver, have never sworn from the haven of my car, but still, how unusual, how glorious this inconvenience, how striking the light is when you look at it. 2. Swaying on the campus shuttle seats from the ice arena to the athletic center, fingertips frozen, listening to Lady Lamb and thinking of my sweet friend Red, whose playlist first gave me the gift of the song. And if every head is a world, I don't want to be the destroyer of all things pure and my own. And I don't. And Red, tender Red, quiet in the corner, but so loud on the mic, a queer icon with an undercut, they are more tender than all of us and so brave. 3. Last New Year's Eve, just before midnight, sitting alone on the couch of the boy whose hands had loved to hug, hit, choke me, newly homeless since 2 p.m. and fresh from a church basement down the street, where the alcoholics danced sober to earth, wind, and fire, and even when they had enough, it was never enough, the beat calling them again to move their bodies. And back on the couch, I watched videos of my friends sipping wine and smiling big with each other in their cramped city living rooms. And never had I felt so full of gratitude, so full with the knowing that my friends had my other friends, and they were never alone. The knowing that any other year my own aloneness would have permeated me until I was sick with it, but not now, not me, not this year or the next. 4. Each and every time I have thought of his arms around my neck, hugging me into oblivion, and know I am gone, good, grand, and grown. 5. Once per hour of a 3-hour drive with my windows down in November, through the mountains, Lucy Dacus on repeat, I was blissful, dazed and in love with existence, the earth, the crisp winter, and the smell of the lumberyard, the smoke rising from tiny houses next to enormous mountainsides. 3 times I welled and let myself spill generously into my car's interior at the way the road was like a vein or a river, and through the back roads, the tributaries, I was being delivered to the outskirts of the body, and the town, the extremities, awakening. 6. On the edge of the Atlantic in August, as I watched a plane extend across the whole blue sky, and on the seawall next to me, a seagull stood staring at and with me, and I'm not one to presume, but he too must have been awestruck at this life, must have thought it both strange and good, how the tide rises twice a day, and the beach always seems to give us what we need, sights and sustenance, a sense of resolve. 7. Winding through the snowy mountains last Christmas morning after the fight with my family, with my father and the future. Looking more homeless by the second, I sat in meetings and read my book at the diner. Sat with myself and opened the gift of my independence and the bright new day reflecting off the glazed mounds of snow, the frozen lakes sprawling. 8. Embarrassed and not quite openly in the second row on the first day of studies in English. Abby's arms tossed this way and that, asking us what an English major is. And I don't know, it's my first day here. I'm a newbie, a tourist, a natural among naturals, but what is an essence anyway, she asks. And nothing is self-evident without question, nothing is real except the ideology of the home I find myself suddenly inside of, the home I'm finally allowed to question. 9. On the subway, more times than I can count. After Escher, after Kahlo, after Florence, after friends, and after the sweet fruit of this life finally lets me drink it. 10. On a Friday night in a room full of men who share stories, touches, tender acknowledgments for the ways we have all lived, and a letter from the man who has gone back home to Virginia. Dan, the man with the southern accent and a passion for God. Dan sent a letter saying he visited an island and thought just so suddenly of how he was a person on a planet looking at other planets, and wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that wonderful? And I think my body began when he spoke of the planets and of the 2 small shells he was enclosing, the ones the man in front of the room smoothed with his thumb as he read, the sober men and me on a Friday night in June. 11. No less than 14 times. Not by the sea, but in an airplane for the first time since the weeping. On the runway as we turned each slow corner, and when we lifted arduously and effortlessly from the ground and into the whole sky, our weight supported by the invisible molecules in the air. There is nothing more marvelous, and I am not a certain person, but I am certain about this, about the Bon Iver song playing as we moved swift and elegant through the clouds. And at once I knew I was not magnificent. 12. The first time my body began was in January. Weeks from 25, my body learned to live in the world when a girl I loved showed me how. When she spoke of the liminal back road she had driven that night, no headlights, only the light of the moon illuminating the landscape, and how the chants she listened to stilled the whole world. When she spoke of coming home and crying on the hardwood floor of her living room with the moon draped over her, my body found some strange well, some hard pit of good and great and full, and so profound was the confusion, wholly existential, my body began and began again, even after she left. 13. Yes, I will admit the last time my body began was just this morning. I will admit I love the world more when I put it into words. I will admit I wrote this poem just to trick my body into beginning again. I am not a certain person, but I'm certain of this. I want to live more than not, even when I have to write a poem to remind me why. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess. And thank you to all our poets. Listening to you speak, one, has made me really grateful that we have this time to be able to celebrate your artwork, your words, and your vision. But also what's hitting me right now is the bravery that you have in representing yourself so authentically to people you may never have met. So I do really appreciate that you've done that. There are some beautiful comments in the chat, so please make sure that you see them. There are lots of thank yous, such astounding minds, how bright the future feels knowing that you are the caretakers of it. I can't echo that more. I would like to take a moment, I think, to open it up. Is there anyone who would like to be off mute to say something to our poets? You can either put a star in the chat. You're also welcome to take yourself off mute if you have something to share.
I'll just say, I just think that was such an awesome reading. I'm really excited to hear all of you. So thanks everybody for reading. I'm Hillary.
Thanks, Hillary. There are more comments coming into in the chat. Great opportunity for us to listen. Congratulations to you all. Is there anyone else who would like to take a moment to say something? Okay. Well, I'm, for one, am going to end out this day with a lot more hope for the future, in a sense that I'm connected somehow with a group of people who have amazing ideas. Thank you for sharing those. I also want to invite you all to future poetry readings. We'll be doing them all virtually this summer, so same format as here. We'll put a link in, there it is, in the chat. If you want to check out some of the other poetry readings happening, you can sign up for them as well, and we'll send you an email invite to them. Thank you for being here today, and I hope we see you in the future. Don't stop writing.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you all so much.
Thanks very much. Very moving.
Thank you, everyone.
Stay well.
Okay, it's enough now.
I totally echo the big virtual round of applause.